Welcome back to Outside Views, where we dive deep into the ever-changing political landscape and the surprising developments around Brexit. Today's topic might come as a surprise to many of you. Despite Brexit, Great Britain is joining again in key European initiatives. Yeah, you heard that right. The UK, after leaving the European Union, is now once again contributing financially to a major European project, the Copernicus program. This news comes as a bit of a twist in the post-Brexit saga, and it raises some important questions about the future of UK-EU cooperation. But let's get into the details. The European Space Agency, or ESA, made an announcement that with the financial contribution of the UK, the European Earth Observation Program, Copernicus, will be significantly expanded. For those of you unfamiliar with Copernicus, it's one of the world's most ambitious Earth observation programs. It's designed to monitor our planet in ways that can help tackle climate change, secure food production, and protect vital resources like water and polar ice. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, for starters, Copernicus has been a flagship program of the European Union. It's been at the forefront of climate and environmental research, using satellite technology to provide incredibly detailed data on the Earth's surface, but also oceans and atmosphere. The fact that the UK, despite having left the EU, is now rejoining the financial contribution to this program is significant. It signals that despite the political fallout from Brexit, there's still room for collaboration between Britain and Europe, especially in areas like science and technology. So what does this renewed cooperation mean for Copernicus? With the UK's financial contribution now secured, the program can expand to include several new missions. In total, 13 satellites are planned for launch, and these missions will have a huge impact on our understanding of climate change and environmental protection. One of the standout missions is CO2M. This mission involves 3 satellites that will measure the concentration of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrogen dioxide in the atmosphere. Why is this important? Well, these satellites will help identify the biggest polluters on the planet. They will also play a crucial role in monitoring compliance with the Paris Climate Agreement, which aims to limit global temperature rises. The data collected by these satellites will allow us to see who's keeping their promises and who's falling short when it comes to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Then there's the CIMR mission. CIMR will involve 2 satellites that will monitor ice cover and surface temperature in the world's oceans. As many of you know, the state of our polar ice caps and the temperature of our oceans are key indicators of climate change. And these satellites will provide essential data that can help us understand how fast the ice is melting and how much sea levels are rising. And another exciting mission is CHIME. CHIME consists of 2 satellites that will provide data to support agriculture. By analyzing plant health and making yield forecasts, these satellites could help farmers around the world optimize their crops and food production. And this is particularly important as climate change continues to disrupt traditional agricultural practices. And LSTM is another mission worth noting. This project will use 2 satellites to assist with large-scale water management. Water is one of the most precious resources on our planet, and climate change is making it more scarce in many parts of the world. And by providing data on water availability, LSTM can help governments and organizations better manage this vital resource. The Crystal mission will focus on measuring the thickness of ice masses, which is another key factor in understanding climate change. As ice masses shrink, we lose a crucial buffer against rising sea levels. And these satellites will allow scientists to monitor changes in ice thickness with unprecedented accuracy. And finally, the Rose-L mission will measure the moisture content in soils and track land subsidence. Soil health is essential for agriculture and ecosystem sustainability, and these satellites will provide the data needed to manage land use, more effectively. Overall, these missions are part of a broader effort to gather precise data on the state of our planet. The expansion of the Copernicus program, with the help of the UK's contribution, that means that we'll have access to even more detailed information about how our planet is changing. And here's the kicker. All of this data will be freely available on the internet. That's right. The information collected by these satellites, whether it's about air pollution, water management, or climate change, will be accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This is already the case with the existing Copernicus satellites. There are currently 9 satellites in orbit, and they are grouped into 6 core categories, all named Sentinel. And these satellites continuously collect data on the Earth's surface, oceans, atmosphere, and climate, and they've already generated petabytes of data that's available on a central platform. With the new missions, this data pool will grow even larger, providing an invaluable resource for scientists, policymakers, and even the general public. So now let's take a step back for a moment. What does this say about the UK's relationship with Europe post-Brexit? Well, it's no secret that Brexit has caused significant friction between the UK and the EU. Trade agreements, border controls, and political disputes have dominated the conversation. But this cooperation on the Copernicus program shows that, at least in some areas, there's still a strong case for partnership. The UK may have left the European Union, but that doesn't mean it has to sever all ties with Europe. In fact, this renewed involvement in Copernicus could be seen as a step towards rebuilding some of the bridges that were damaged by Brexit. It's also worth noting that the UK's involvement in Copernicus is not just about altruism or scientific advancement. There are clear benefits for Britain as well. The data from these satellites will help the UK tackle its own climate challenges, manage resources more effectively, and contribute to global efforts to combat environmental degradation. And this could be just the beginning. Could we see more examples of the UK collaborating with Europe on scientific, environmental, or technological projects? Only time will tell, but this is a clear indication that cooperation is still possible. In conclusion, what we're seeing here is an important development in the ongoing story of Brexit and Britain's relationship with Europe. Despite the political rhetoric, despite the economic challenges, there is still a place for collaboration. And in areas like climate change and environmental protection, that collaboration is essential. The Copernicus program will benefit immensely from the UK's financial contribution, and the data it provides will help us all in the fight against climate change. It's a positive step forward, and perhaps a sign that even in a post-Brexit world, Britain and Europe can still find common ground. So, thank you for watching Outside Views, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates on the latest developments in politics and beyond. Until next time, and the next video is right here in the end screen.